Welcome back to the Humpday Happy Hour Hangout edition here at the Director's Garage. I'm your host and resident idiot, Michael. There we go. And, well, welcome. Hey, everybody. It's Hump Day. We're halfway through the week. You can get rid of these. Don't need them. Hey, huh? Atrium, folks. Atrium. What a great experience that has been. Wow, welcome everybody. I'm glad to see you guys here. Just getting started, just getting rolling, getting into the groove of things. Major drop yesterday on that episode, and y'all responded. It's like it's my most watched video to that point in time, whatever that means. It's like, you know, they give me like a ranking for how your episode is doing, and that one's doing the best. It's doing the best I've ever had. So thank you guys for watching it, and I hope you guys enjoyed our look at the Atrium. And man, oh man, this thing, it's the real deal. It's the real deal, and I've been playing with them since I went on the air, and or since obviously I unboxed them. It was about a week ago. I think I shot that episode on Friday of last week. So I've had some lag time between when I can put the episode together and when it actually, you know, goes out to you guys for you guys to consume. And I've had a chance to play with them a little bit, and I've discovered some things. I've discovered some things that work better with them, some things that maybe don't work so well with them. And I'll share my... Whoa, I knocked something over. And I'll share my thoughts. First of all, I was running them on the Ferrum stack, which is the stack Ferrum ore with the Hypsos, and I played around with them a little bit, and it turns out that they really engaged better when I turned the power on the Hypsos up to the max. So feeding the ore 30 volts really helped that out. Hey, we're getting messages all over the place. Let's turn that off. Yeah, so if I turned the power up on that, that really helped. That seemed to give me a little better engagement or whatever, a little more of that bass that I was looking for in the episode. I've had about 30 pad recommendations. Everybody's like, no, try this pad, try that pad. A lot of ideas, including ZMF. They sent me their thoughts on it. So they told me try the BE2s. So I have a pair of BE2s. I'll be digging into those too in the coming weeks as I get to that sound check. Got some things in the way first before we get to that. And I want to spend some time with them. I want to give you a really thorough review of them based on my experience. The other amp that really connected with these, and I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, I guess, in some way. The Wu Audio WA5 LE, and particularly when you kick, these are 300 ohm headphones, and if you know your resistances, that's the same resistance as the old the original HD 800. So you know it's needs a lot to drive them. Well, the WA5LE has a setting for impedance, and you can kick it into high impedance, and it will handle a headphone like that very nicely. So that has been a really good combination for it, and I'm still messing with the pads. I really got to try some different things. So welcome everybody. Cheers. We are at happy hour. Or at least it's happy hour somewhere. Hope you guys are having a great week, and we'll check in the chat in a few minutes. I'll let you guys filter in and kind of get some people going. Really got great feedback on that episode too. I think a lot of people really are interested. This is, I mean, in fairness, it's the hot headphone. I mean, it is the hot headphone that everybody this spring is talking about. I think there have been a couple of other releases that were significant, but this is the one. I really think that this is the one. It seems to be the one that everybody's like talking about right now, and that happens. I mean, everything comes in waves, and really, Audeze owned the fall with the LCD5 and the Carbon releases, and certainly Stax made a big impression with the 9000, which I still have yet to hear. It's still another headphone that's like on that list, but man, it got that list got pushed back when I bought this thing. And so we also have, as soon as we get some people in here, we know I've got a little show and tell, because it is kind of the spring of ZMF, and a lot of people chimed in with their headphones. And one of our viewers, JTB, he stops by every week, and he said, "Hey, I'd love to get a chance to show you guys my Verite closed." So he sent me some stills in email, and I'll be able to show those on the air as soon as we get a little group together and kind of get into the things. How y'all doing? What are you guys drinking today? I'm on the boring shit. I'm on straight iced tea. Smooth people. By the way, that is my work email chiming in, letting me know that, hey, there's stuff happening, and none of it's important. None of it matters. What's exciting you guys this week? I saw Adnan had a fuse blow on his brand new WA-22. That's a shame. Trying to think of what else is going on with me. It's been a shooting week. I a lot of writing this week, and I'm really backloaded with shoots. So I did a big. Victor Ennis stopped in, and we've got. I'm going to mess that up. Johnson. I'm just going to say Johnson because the other part of your name I'm going to mess up. Mr. Number One here. Welcome. Last Rhino. These are all our regulars. People who stop in every week. It's like the bar. It's like you guys walk in and we all shout your name. Yeah, I can't. I suppose I could mute that tab, but if something important happens, I do kind of need to know. It is a little important. That thing that pays for all of these goodies. I'm knee deep in the next episode. I did my research over the last couple of days, and the next episode is going to be a comparison, a shootout between the Muse Hi-Fi Power and the 7 Hertz Timeless. I'm sorry, they were all stringy because I got to get the headphone cables attached. It's a mess. But we're going to put the Power and the Timeless up against each other in the next episode. These are both $200. They're both planar magnetics, and it's like a death match. We're gonna fight them out. Fight it out, boys. Let me know who gets out, and we'll name a winner at the end of that one. So that's a fun episode. I love doing those kinds of things. I've also got a feature in the next episode. It's gonna be my featured artist is gonna be Simon and Garfunkel. We're gonna do a little thing on them. Lots of stuff. I got a lot of stuff planned in the next couple of weeks. I've got a self-indulgent purchase. Not the most expensive headphone in the world, but it's a headphone that's near and dear to my heart, and it's one that I've wanted to get in here, and it finally happened. I found a used set came up, and for a really good price, and I couldn't say no. So that's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. We'll be doing an unboxing of that. But I'm looking forward to this next episode because I haven't done a shootout in a while, and I kind of like that whole, what is one doing better than the other, and which one do you prefer, and what situations. Very fun stuff. I love doing that kind of thing. And they make good videos. They make good entertaining videos. We are also over the 4,000 mark. We finally made it. We're at 4,030 something. It was funny. Drifting. We made it over, went back, made it back over. We were 4,000 last week, and now we're like 4,030 something. And I got good response from the video yesterday. So the giveaway's coming. I can announce a couple of things there. I'm going to give away a Meze audio. This is the Meze something. I forgot the name of this thing. I forgot the name of it. It's the Meze. We're giving away another Meze. That's gonna be in the giveaway. And the Rise Solo. That's what this is. This is the Meze Rise Solo. It just dawned on me. Sometimes it takes the mouse a little time to go around the wheel. But we're gonna give away a Meze Rise Solo. And the next giveaway is, I already announced I'm giving away the big thing I'm giving away in the next giveaway is this Jerry Harvey Audio Jimmy. This is a $1,300 IEM. And they look spectacular. I had them down here on the desktop somewhere. They're definitely not in here because that case is so heavy, you know when they're in here. So, but I'm giving away that. I'm giving away this. And the other giveaway item is a Critical Edition, the FHE Eclipse, the FIO Eclipse Critical Edition. I'm going to give away this headphone. That's another one that's going to go away from the Director's Garage and into one of your hot hands. And they look kind of like this. They've got a little wavy. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I got a thing today. I can do this. Watch this. Watch this. So technical. You guys, I'm going to bring the production value just for you guys today. We're going to bring the production value. Don't tell anybody, okay? And that's, let me see the little monitor so I can see what the heck I'm showing you guys. Whoop. There we go. Yeah, these. These are the FIO Critical Edition there it is, Eclipse, and they kind of got this wavy thing going on here. Really neat little headphone. Small little guys. Very cool headphone. That's going to be in the next giveaway, and then the Rye Solo, and then the Jerry Harvey Audio Jimmy. Those are the big giveaway items, I think, for the next one. I don't think I'm going to go any deeper than that. It's a lot. It's a lot of money outlay. And credit, I should be very clear and thank Jerry Harvey Audio because I won the Jimmys at CanJam. I just had an entry thing, and they said, "You want to be?" I'm like, "Fine, I'll fill it out. I don't care." And then they called me and said I won, and then I felt kind of bad because I'm kind of like, I like to see people get them that really could use a good set of headphones. And then I thought, no, it's a great giveaway item. I'll just give them away and credit Jerry, and maybe somebody will get turned on to Jerry's stuff. They do good stuff over there. A lot of balanced armatures. They've really great balanced armature stuff over there, and then I'll pay it forward, and then somebody here will get it, and maybe I'll get a couple of subscribers out of the deal. I don't require subscriptions for these contests, but it's nice if somebody wants to. That's cool. Let's check up with the chat now. So those are the 3 items that I'm going to plan on giving away. I got to do a video for it, and I've already got the next video planned. It's got to get it, I got to make time. It's got to have time, and we'll put it together. We'll do it out there, and then somebody will walk away with some nice stuff. Give a bunch of that stuff. Okay, so Last Rhino says, great looking headphone, Michael. Yes, it is, folks. Yes, it is. This headphone, and it's really hard. You can't appreciate. It's hard to get the full appreciation of these if they're not in your hand. And the like the one thing you can't really tell is like how substantial these feel. How they just feel. So, let's get my wallet out of here. Let's have an active incident on it. You can see the Topaz, by the way. I've been using that for the shootout that's coming next time. But they're so substantial. These are so solid. This is, ZMF did something different with these, certainly different than with the Verite. Because the Verite felt a little bit like parts in some way, and this does not. This feels much better sorted, and what you can appreciate also is the thickness of the leather and the quality of the leather on this headband is unmatched. I've never seen such a headband, a quality headband that's this thick and this meaty, and you just feel like you're getting something for the money, and that's spectacular. So yeah, it's a great looking headphone, Rhino, and I'm super impressed with that. Mr. Number One here, yo, afternoon. Let's do some cheers real quick. Cheers to you all. We are at happy hour. Pull out your favorite beverage. It's BYOB. I can't serve you all, but so glad you guys could stop by today. I'm glad it's a big tent. We like having people stopping in. It's a fun little hangout. We don't take things too seriously here. Obviously, it's this show. But we do have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. And I love the chat and I love the topics. Johnson says, happy hour! Yes, it is. Happy hour. Victor Ennis. Hey, pal, just popped in. I'm getting the Atriums, which I mentioned last time, but I see you got this. That's awesome. How do I like them? Well, you watched the last video. That'll give you a good primer. I mean, these things are impressive. They sound impressive. I think, you know, the video was clear. I'm looking for a little bass out of these. I'm starting to find it. Good start was changing the amp setups, and I've got more to do. I've got plenty of amps around here to mess around with and find that magic setup, but I cannot complain. I've been wearing these a lot. I've been using them a lot, and that tells me that they're interesting to me. They're exciting to me. They're a headphone I like to wear. So there you go. Victor Ennis is drinking an old-fashioned. Well, I'm drinking old iced tea. It's about an hour old. Poured everything. I tried to get a little 10-minute nap in. Didn't work. But, you know, there you go. Last round. How much does your Atrium weigh? Very heavy. Very heavy. These are in the about 500 grams, I would say. These are not lightweight headphones, and I don't mind. They feel like you're getting something for the money, and I'm impressed with these. They're not the lightest things in the world, though. They're not going to rival. You know how the LCD5 and all that. You know, they're all in that 230 gram range and things like that. This is about twice that. I mean, it's a big chunk of wood with some serious metal, integrated. And then you got the drivers, and there's a screen. I didn't show this on the air in the video, but I can show it to you now. I'll never get these pads back on now. It's the CMF pads. They're murder to try and get put back in, you know. Here's the driver on these, and you kind of can see the biocellulose like peeking through there on the bottom, but there's this screen here, this mysterious screen here. And that's got something to do with the tuning and the dispersion of the sound as it goes towards your ear. And, you know, it makes me wonder, you know, what they were up against and why they put that there. And, you know, there's a little relief here. And, there, you know, there's clever little things that they did, and they will all subtly affect the sound. All of this will affect the sound, folks. So, very cool. You know, there's a lot that goes into... People think, you know... They're just putting some drivers in, you know, in a housing and send them out. It's like, no, they really spend time, you know, finding the right way to do it. Congrats to Zach over there at ZMF and Bevan. You know, really, that's an achievement, and what a beautiful achievement. I mean, they have not done anything prettier than that. I can tell you that. There may be something that's equally pretty, but they have not done anything prettier than that, right? So let's see. We're going to do Doris is away. Doris is away. I'm sorry, Doris, you're away. Just arrived. You're away, but you arrived. How are things? Things are great. Things are great. Put the episode out yesterday. It's funny, you know, YouTube talk for a second, but if I drop on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, it's an entirely different fate for an episode. I got into a kind of this bad cycle of where I was releasing on Fridays, even a Saturday, and nobody comes to the party when you drop an episode on those days. So even though it was like at 5 o'clock, I think yesterday, which is super late in the day, I try to drop at 7 a.m. That's when the audience is really there, and but you guys everybody clicked in on that thing, and it's zooming up the charts for me, for an episode from me, which is good. That's great. Nephilim81. Hi, guys. Happy Wednesday. Michael, what tubes are you currently rolling in your WA5LE? Well, I'm glad you asked. I am rolling... Oh, and I got a... That's one of the things I wanted to do this week, too. Well, maybe I'll do it later in the episode, but I was going to walk through some of the tubes I've got sitting around, because I've got some tubes, folks. Currently in the WA5LE, I'm running the Western Electric 300B. They sound amazing. They're a fantastic tube, very expensive tube, but they come with a great warranty and great heritage and history behind that tube. And they did everything they could to make that tube as great as the originals, even better in some cases, with the way they're tested and the cleanliness of the lab that they cleaned up down there for assembly. When you put it together and there's less dust in the air and stuff that can get inside the tube to affect the sound or to make this tube fail early or something. They really did amazing things down there. There's some great videos. I did a video on it at the time. I think it was video 21 or 22. Long time ago. 2 years ago. Time flies. So I'm running that, and then I'm running tongue sole round plates for the drivers. Those are 6SN7s, I believe. Great tube, reliable tube, and favorite for guitar amps. Great power driver tube. And then on the rectifier side, I've got Takatsuki 274Bs. And so there you go. That's what I'm running. I've thought about trying to find an old, vintage pair of Western Electrics. And the other pair that I have that are not as impressive, but they are a fantastic, fantastic tube is it's an old. Wow, it's been so long since I had them out. I'm gonna draw a blank on the name. But they're 1957 rectifiers. I have this vintage pair of metal bass tubes from 1957, and they just sound spectacular. But I like I don't find the rectifier to really change the game that much on the WA5. It is the 300B that's really the main thing that's going to change the sound of that amp. On some of the other amps, the WA6 from Woo, yeah, the rectifier makes a huge difference. But on this amp, it doesn't seem to make a dramatic difference. The big change is in that 300B. So that's what I'm running. I'm running the Takatsuki 274, and then I'm running the Tungsol round plates and the Western Electric 300B. The Atriums are great on them. I talked about that at the very top of the show. The WA5 has an impedance setting, and these guys are 300 ohms. So you need something substantial, preferably something with an impedance setting on them. I'm going to try and do this while I'm talking to you guys. These things are not easy to put the ear cups back in, because it's one of these things where you got to hold the one side and then you put the other side in, and it's all slip cover and friction. It's not like it pops in on a post or something. There is something of a, like trying to get your favorite t-shirt on when you're 20 pounds overweight kind of thing. It's like stretch, hold it, let's get the other side going, now slip that in, hold it, now I've got half of it in, and then you do the other thing down here and try and slip that in. Doris is away, says stacks with a question mark. Well, I've had stacks in here, Doris. I've had I've had both the SR900 and the 900S in-house. I did the 900S, and that was a great headphone. It was a great headphone. It wasn't for me ultimately. I preferred the carbon to it, but I am very much want to get that new SRX9000 in here. That's a headphone that is somewhere in the future. It might be the distant future, because I'm going broke. That's the way it goes. Daniel Foster's doing well. The new ear pads for his COS LED powered electrostatic headphones came in. They do fine under the Cali sun. Well, you know, hey, whatever turns you on, you know. Adam Cardos is liking the new Atrium. Says, I'm glad to be liking the new Atrium, Michael. How's the pad swapping so far? Haven't done it. I haven't had time. I've been more playing with the amp game a little bit. And I've been trying some different amps on it, and even tried some different sources and stuff. I'll be getting into the pads in the next couple of weeks, but I'm trying to get the next episode out too, and that is that. And I mentioned that's going to be a shootout of two $200 magnetic planar IEMs, and they're both really good. This headphone, the 7 Hertz Timeless, is an absolute game changer. It has reshaped. I think it's reshaped the sub $1,000 IEM market. As long as you have the power to drive them, because they do require a lot of power. If you've got, but at that price, at $200, you know, you can afford a decent amp to power them. So really good. Daniel Fox says it's raining in Palmdale. You know, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning to hail, and I mean it must have been like ice cube sized hail hitting the house, because it sounded like World War III was coming through the ceiling, but it didn't. Thank God. I have a new roof on the director's garage. We don't want roof damage. That was a $28,000 affair putting a roof on this place. Keep the hail away. Hot in the north of England. Very hot here in the old Southland in SoCal today. We're at 95 degrees. And that's pushing 100 Celsius. Or no. 100 Celsius is 212 degrees. It better not be 100 Celsius. It's pushing like 35, I guess it would be. You double it and add 30, isn't that the old thing? That was that Bob and Doug McKenzie. Anybody remember Bob and Doug McKenzie? I've got their comedy album from the 80s. Anyway, clicking in on that. Nephilim 81 is up next. And pads, oh, here we go. Whoop, I went way past everything. The Atrium have a look like makes him want to go to Notre Dame and chant. Insane build. Yeah, it's like they're just this. It's like steampunky meat. It's just very old. It's like it's weathered. It's like it's been, you know, they took them out back and drug them through the mud or something, or drug them around the block and said, hey, you know, we need to roughen these things up and make them look like they've been around a little bit. So, yeah, they're really cool. They're really cool. And again, I'll do I can't do that because I'm on the wrong, hang on. There we go. I've got the fancy cam working today. Production value for you happy hour, hump day, hangout viewers. So stupid. Okay, yeah, so these are, you know, they got that weathered thing, and it's the first I've seen Zach, ZMF do that. So very impressive build, very impressive looking headphone, very impressive sounding headphone. So really a great time. So Daniel Foster says the great thing about the heat in Palmdale is that the heat is not humid. It's not humid here either, but it is a little bit today because we had some rain, because we had that rain roll through. When he lived in the Midwest, yeah, I lived in Chicago, which is like humid central. You walk outside and you soak a shirt. welcome to Chicago. When he lived in the Midwest, the humidity was harsh. In lower states, Louisiana, they're brutal down there, man. Brutal humidity. Florida, another one. Whoo! They got humidity down there. I love Better Built headphones. His lust for the Abyss. Yeah, this is great build of a headphone. The looks. It's Frankenstein's illegitimate stepsister is the build on the Abyss. And I would love to see Abyss do a closeback. I don't know if that's in their future or not. I don't know enough about them. The LCD5 weighs 420 grams. I believe it's lighter than that even. Is it? Isn't it? I thought it was under. I thought it was under that. 420, really? Well, I don't have a pair handy. They're sitting in the case right now. I kind of did some cleanup and put some headphones away. The horror. JTB. Oh, JTB sent me some stills of his Verite closed. And let's take a look at them, because I happen to have them. He wanted to show them in the chat, and you can't show anything in the chat on YouTube. So I told him to email me his headphones, and not his whole headphones. You know what I mean? Some photos, and we'll take a look at them, and I'm going to load those up, and we'll be able to take a look through the miracle of modern convenience television. Here we go. So this is JTB's. Yeah, this is his Verite closed, and you can see it's a burl. They actually look kind of similar to my Verite open backs, but of course they had the grill in it. And I can go back now. Let's see. We can even do another. Let's see how we do this. There you go. Another one. Another angle on this. I'm so technical. I should have done live switching. I could have just done this for a living, you know. I used to do master control, and I used to do some live switching in the studio, the technical director position. So there you go. Those are JTB's Verite closed. Verite closed. Very cool. Very cool. And of course, I screwed myself in the background because... Why don't you tell me I'm looking at myself back there? Let's fix that. Media. Let's put that Director's Garage live and go back to it. Ah, that's fun. All right, that's television for you. Fun with my little home studio. So those are JTB's awesome Verite closebacks. I want a pair for myself, no question. It's something that I would love to get in here. And now after having this pair, this is more to my lane than the Verite. The Verite, and I think I tripped on it during the episode, the Verite had great technicals. It had great detail, and everything was kind of, you know, it was able to separate stuff. But the coherence, it's like it lost musicality to me because it didn't stitch everything together as smoothly as this headphone does. This headphone isn't as technical. It doesn't, I don't think they're as sharp. They're not as resolving, but they put everything together so well. And that to me is a, you know, the overall sound, the overall package, and you know what that does and the emotions that brings out of the music. That's where it's at for me. That's where I like a good headphone to be. So yes, I'm going to be doing some pad swapping on those. I've got some. I've got one coming from Amazon, and then I've got like 8 pads here. Here. We've got pads for rolling, folks. Pads for pad rolling. And these are my favorite ones. These are the BE2s, and if you look close, I can do this again. Wow, I'm just making use of the studio today. These look like baseball mitts to me. Like, they're just so cool. Very comfy headphone, but they're not very thin. And just from my own like brain, and how other headphones have reacted to the thickness of the pad, I would have thought I needed a thicker pad to get that bass to jump a little bit. And so my common sense tells me that you need the thicker pad to get the drivers away from the ear to get the bass to open up. But I was talking to somebody from ZMF, and not Zach, but one of the sales folks there, and they said, no, the BE2 will help you with the bass. So I'm like, okay. So we'll be doing that as we get closer to the actual full sound check of those. We're all talking ZMF headphones today. It's the subject because the episode that dropped yesterday late was the Atrium open back. That's the latest episode of latest edition of this show, and we'll be of course doing a full in-depth dealio on that coming up, the sound check, but we're going to take a few episodes. I don't like to get too much in one lane on this show and like do a whole bunch on just one thing. I think that gets boring for you guys, and it's like I like to keep it, moving, and we do one thing one week, another thing, and then the other thing is that I can't afford to do like to go out and buy an Atrium every week. We don't have enough viewers yet. 4,000 subs is great, folks, and I'm happy to do a giveaway, but the show ain't making any money. Certainly in the red. So like and subscribe to the Director's Garage. Click the like button. Hit the subscribe. It won't hurt you. It just costs a couple of calories. And we do have deals, by the way. We have deals with, and I do this once an episode, once a live stream. Audio 46 is our partner, and if you go over there and use the coupon code at checkout, Director's Garage, all one word, you can save yourself an extra 5% on most of the items they carry. And you say, well, 5%, what's that? And it's actually quite a bit when you start talking about, hey, I'm going to buy a $3,500 headphone. 5% turns out to be a heck of a lot of savings. And I'm going to look it up right now because I haven't done this in a minute. But if you think nobody uses those coupon codes because they're a sham or something, yeah, not the case with the Director's Garage crew. Y'all have used that, and we're at $58,448 in sales. Like, guys, I'm so thrilled. The cool thing about that is this show doesn't do we don't do like the subscriptions and crap like that, the Patreon and whatever. I just do these deals with manufacturers, and I have some affiliate links and stuff. And my thinking is I don't want to, give you a Patreon thing and you're just giving me money and then you get access to, some bullshit thing. And I'd rather have you get something for it. So you go out and buy yourself a headphone, you save 5% on the headphone, and you support the channel. It's like everybody, and Audio 46, which is a great company on the East Coast. If you're ever in New York, go check out their store. You give them a sale in their local business. They're a small business. Fantastic guys over there. So I like doing deals like that where everybody wins, everybody gets something out of it. That makes me feel good, and that's why we do that. So that's my little spiel. We also have a Linsol links and some Amazon shit down below if you want to click on that. You support the channel, and totally appreciate it. You guys are the best, and we have a little community here and get together on Wednesdays. Drink a little something. Today it's iced tea. Sometimes it's beer. Everybody chimes in with what they're drinking. We've talked barbecue sauce. Did an hour on barbecue sauce a few weeks ago. Fantastic. Fantastic. And it's a really fun environment. Nobody takes any of this shit seriously. Okay, Nephilim. So yes, we'll go back to the chat now. The pad swapping design really competes well with Meze and Focal. Looks amazing, terrific functionality. Congrats, Michael, glad you bought these. I am too. And I'm glad I could bring them to you guys because it's something you obviously wanted to see, and that's really cool. Mix of engineering and art from Doris is away. You get things like the Atrium. It's exquisite. It really is. They knocked, you can see, the old adage, they knocked it out of the park. Well, they just killed it. It's a great design. It looks lustworthy, and I love the satin finish on it. It adds to that old school, old world effect, as opposed to, pardon me, burping, as opposed to, the shiny finish, the glossy finish. Very much. Very good. I really enjoy everything they did with that, and I also, the other part of that gets overlooked a little bit is the starburst, and he wore he wore the finish around, he wore the finish down near the middle of the cup, as you know, right around where they insert this metal dealio, the metal stampy thing, and it gives this starburst effect, kind of like an old Gibson guitar. Remember the starburst Gibson guitar, just the Les Paul? It's got that little thing going on where it's kind of like just a little bit lighter around the ring, and again, it all adds to the effect of, you know, giving it that older vibe, that worn-in vibe. It just looks fantastic. Ryan Dietz, have you ever tried a Wu WA6? Yes, absolutely. That was my first amp. How would you compare it to the WA5? Well, it's much less powered. There's not as much power. You still get that tube goodness. I think that it's like, if I'm telling somebody where to start in the hobby, if you're just getting going and you want to jump into the world of tubes, but you don't want to go both feet in, you just want to get something to go, yeah, get a WA6. They're really good with easy to drive headphones. I would think they would pair very well with the Empyrean. I would think that they definitely pair very well with the HD600. They don't pair well with anything that's hard to drive. The HD 800, 820, anything that requires a lot of power. The LCDs, that's not the amp for those headphones. Those require a little more oomph. So you need to jump up there. And the next, like even the WA6 SE, which is the split power supply, they have a little more power in that amp, but you really need to get up into the WA2, WA22 in order to provide enough power for those types of headphones. And then you're talking like $1,800 range, $2,000 range, somewhere in there. With the Wu stuff, but you know, you're also getting the Wu build, and you know, there's plenty of, like, you know, the bottle, what is it called, the bottle something or other, that looks just like the WA6, but you don't get that Wu build, and the Wu build quality is just so, I mean, it's less worthy. Get what you pay for, they always say. But you can find, you know, the other thing is look used, find a used amp. Look, I picked up my first, when I jumped from the WA6 and I decided that yes, headphones as a hobby was something I was going to pursue. I had the WA6 for about, I would say, like 6 months, maybe 8 months. And I decided, you know, then I bought the HD 800, and I found that the WA6 was really struggling to power that headphone, which was, you know, it's the drug. Gotta upgrade. Buy the headphone, gotta buy the new amp. Then the amp sounds, you want to put something better on the amp, so you buy another headphone, you know. And then it's an endless chase. But the WA6 was really a great starting point. And what I did was I found, I was watching eBay and all the normal places and Head-Fi classifieds, and somebody was selling a WA5 LE for $1,800. And this was the V1. This was back in, you know, I don't know, 2013, 2014. So I bought that, and then when they came out with the V2 of the WA5 LE, I called Jack, and you know, we talked about it, and he gave me a decent trade-in on my WA5 LE, and so I gave him that amp plus some money, and he sent me back the WA6. And this is the special thing with all the black caps and all the, you know, nonsense stuff that probably doesn't make much of a difference, but it makes you feel good knowing you've got black caps inside of your amp. We were just talking the other day about the audio bullshit. If Facebook has an audio bullshit page that is a must subscribe if you haven't. It's some of the best stuff about, like, all the stuff that is out there that they tried, the snake oil that they try to sell you. It's fantastic. So yeah, the WA6 certainly not as resolving. It doesn't have, you know, it's not a 300B amp, so you don't get the 300B kind of like that airiness. But it's a great amp. It's a great amp to start with. Go ahead and buy it. Recommend it. Nephilim81, Michael, you need to get more expensive tubes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I really am. There's, you know, outside, the only tubes that are more expensive are if you go back and try and find the vintage Western Electric 300B, because those will run you about 10 grand a pair. But now, you know, these 300Bs from Western Electric, the new ones, are just so good, and you get the warranty. It's like, it's a no-brainer for me. Like, as good as the Takatsukis are, I can't sonically tell. I would never pass a blind taste test between the Takatsuki and the Western Electric 300B tube, and you get a 5-year warranty from Western Electric. I'm like, you're going to stand behind a tube for 5 years? Yeah, you're getting my money. Shut up and take my money. Daniel Foster, yes, BioCellulose drivers sound great, but pad changing does help better. Yeah, of course it does. And but he's speaking of Sennheiser headphones that he's owned, placing those biodynamic drivers paired with ribbons. Oh, I have not jumped into ribbon drivers at all, and I know that the RAL is a ribbon. I just don't know enough about ribbons. These ribbon microphones I'm very familiar with. But I don't know much about the ribbon stuff. I just haven't played with it. So I'm gonna have to defer to somebody else. That's a conversation I just can't have. I don't have enough experience. And I don't want to waste your time with me bullshitting you about something I don't know anything about. It's like talk outside of my neck. Remember that song? That was a great song. It's a great old rap song. It's like, early 90s, late 80s. You're talking about the side of your, talking out the side of your neck. Nah. Oh well. Sorry. I digress. Heal those Pokemon. I always remember worrying about breaking headphones when swapping pads. Well, you're certainly not going to break the headphone on the ZMF because it's just a chunk of wood. I'm worried maybe more about tearing the pad than you are about breaking the headphone. You wouldn't do that unless you dropped it on the floor. If you're pulling it over a hard surface, you probably don't want to do that with your ZMFs. Because wood, it will crack if you hit it at the wrong angle. My wife did that the other day. She was on her bicycle. She has an exercise bike in the house, and she's, Mrs. Director. She's typing on her computer, and she's got it balanced on the ledge of the couch, the arm of the couch, and she turned away or something, and I guess it was at a weird, just on the teetering point, and it slid off. And it only fell maybe, that far, not far, but it hit at the wrong angle, and it cracked the screen in half. Ouch. And that was on a Monday. You never want to start your week with a cracked screen on your laptop, and all of her clients are on it and all that stuff. So it was something. Yeah, so, anything can break, folks. We're up to Nephilim. He says, one more tube question. Have you tried a solid state rectifier at all? No, I haven't. I've seen them. I understand how they work. I've seen them plugged in. I've seen everybody, on those. And many diagrams, they're all over the Woo forum on HeadFi. You can see those things. I don't have an interest in it. I could try it, I suppose, but I haven't tried it myself. It's just, the tube sounds so good. Why mess with, if I'm going to go with a solid state rectifier, I just go with the solid state amp, I don't know. Daniel Foster, pad swapping isn't easy for sure. Yeah, they're a little tricky on the ZMFs. The Focal, super easy. Just rip it off and slap in the new one. Focal's got it done right. I'm having some problems with my HD800. Oh, it's got the wire on it, but the HD800, it keeps coming out. I bought the HD820 new, not 800. Oh, we'll pull it out anyway. Stand by. The here we go. The HD820. When I bought these used, and they came and they were the pads weren't in great shape. They were a little gross, and we were in COVID and everything, and I'm like, maybe a new pair. So I just went on Sennheiser's website and I ordered a replacement pair of these pads. But what I noticed is they come out really too easy for my taste. And I think what I need to do is put some double stick tape on the inside of it and then slap it in there, and I think it'll stay better. But I've had problems with the HD820 of the pads coming out of the cups a little too easy for my liking. So, by the way, look at this stand. This was really cool. I bought this stand for the Abyss, and then because you need a big headphone stand. This is actually a stand for a violin. You would actually put a violin in here and it would hold it, or viola or something, and that's what it is. But it works great for headphones. And then I got the special room. I'll show this someday on the show, but I got the room custom Abyss 1266 specific stand, which holds it by the way you want to hold that headphone, which is by the frame and not by the top pad, because it stretches them out. And then, so this, I didn't need it anymore, but then when I got the new Atrium, look at this. Look at this matchup. That's a pretty good matchup there, right, folks? So I got me a stand that kind of works with that headphone now again. So that's what I've been using for a stand on that headphone. I bought a new stand off of Etsy the other day too. It'll be coming in soon. Kind of fun. Kind of fun. Cheers, everybody. We're at 4:20. We're about an hour in. How's everybody doing? How's your Wednesday? We're halfway through the week. We've got a couple more days to go, but yeah, this is the rough one. Doris is away, is listening to this on a 10-year-old set of Porta Pros, staring at the stars. I am not a star, my friend. Yeah, Porta Pros, tremendous value. Fantastic. JTB is it's 95 degrees and he's running out of water on the West Coast. Good times. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we are. He's out east, though. Yeah, 95 degrees and we're running out of water. That's kind of the way things go here. But, you know, it's California, man. we don't get that winter thing. All right. Last round of the Atrium is special aged cherry with aged copper. I actually don't know if it's aged cherry. Well, I mean, the aged cherry part's probably right, but the aged copper, it's not really aged. They just painted it. It's like painted with a charcoal kind of paint, but it looks really good. And then they just kind of rubbed it off on the areas that the little sand job to let the copper shine through. But really nice, man. Really nice, fantastic. Wants to be Daniel Foster says he wants to be Frankenstein's stepsister when the Abyss makes a closed back. I hope that they come up with a design that maybe isn't so frightening. But I will say this, the Abyss is, I've said this every week, the Abyss right now is probably my best sounding headphone overall. Like, it's the one that I've got most dialed in, and everything. 38 degrees Celsius. Oh, we go. Speaking of Bob and Doug McKenzie, Methylam 81 coming in dropping some info bomb on us. Speaking of Bob and Doug McKenzie, he's from Toronto, Canada, and it was 38 degrees Celsius today. That is damn hot, eh? Not as hot as Michael's tubes, though. So true. So true. Yeah, if you guys want me to pull out the tubes, I'll pull out the tubes. I have a bin of tubes. I can show that off if that's what you want to see. I can also show you my room stand for the 1266 if you want. It's right over there. What is the best looking headphone? Well, I think that this is up there. Doris is away. I think that this is definitely, it's a classic design. Oh, listen to the music. Nice. Man, say what you want. The producers of this show really pick some good music out. I think that this is a classic design. I think that it looks like you want a headphone to look. And there are designs that maybe aren't so attractive. I think the Utopia is a great design. I think that's a classic looking design. It looks like a headphone should look. To my sensibilities. I gotta find that. I have, by the way, going back to Nephilim for a second, I gotta find that Bob and Doug album. I have it. I have the physical album. It's just, I have 3,000 records on that side of the room. So finding one, I know the general area. I know it's on the bottom shelf, probably somewhere in the middle, but finding the exact one is going to take a few minutes. And I don't want to leave you guys without somebody on camera. It's a tune out. It's a click out point, folks. We don't want click out points. Sean Mills says, just watch A Clockwork Orange for Abyss. Next headphone design. Yeah, it's, you know, it's going to be something out there. I don't even think the Diana, like, they went from the 1266 and like the 1266, I mean, it's an out there design. There's no question. You see that and it looks like a rack, you know, it looks like one of those medieval torture devices, like they're going to, you know, there's spikes on the inside of the thing and it's going to go into your skull. There's no question about that. And then they came out with the Diana and I'm like, you didn't sidestep your problem. You didn't turn that problem around. and the Diana, the real problem with the Diana is there's just too much surface contact on that ear pad. Like, I don't want ear pads that run like the Dianas run. It's just not comfortable. JTB says he was, the Abyss loved the Cyberman look, yeah. JTB says he was happy with those Verite clothes. The problem with getting a limited ZMF like Camphor Burl is you never know what they'll look like until you get them. It's rolling the dice. And if it's a special release, JTB, you know it can be murder getting in line to even get one. Like, you know, I've relayed my upset over the release of the stabilized wood versions of the Verite closed and how much I wanted that Dark Star one, and I couldn't get it. You know, they were gone. All of them were gone before I even had a chance to click in, because I'm not some fast young kid with a finger like lightning. I'm a 55-year-old old curmudgeon. Crazy person, and I just am not that fast on the draw, and you know, they were gone before I could get in. So yeah, that's the other problem with CMF. However, in this case, I saw this is one, you know, they have two, I think there are 3 configurations of this headphone you can order. There's a limited coming, which you can't even order yet, and then there's another design of this that doesn't have the age thing. It's just like silver and whatever, and I don't find that to be, to my personal sensibility, I think this is way cooler than something than if you just did this in a plain unpainted silver, you know, mesh grill. Yeah, it's not as cool. It's not as cool. That age, they found something there. It's just a little bit, there's a little bit extra on it, you know. It's really cool. Really cool. Sean Mills, he has a Diana. It's fine on looks. The 1266 is a torture device. Yeah. I think I'm not like, I don't think that industrial design is Abyss's forte. I don't think that, but they make damn good sounding stuff. And like I said, the 1266 right now is my best sounding headphone in house. I've got it, the perfect amp setup with the perfect everything, and it's clicking better than the Susvara, better than the Utopia, better than this. I'm still sorting. It's very early on this. And maybe even better than the Carbon. The Carbon sounds really good too, though. I got to do that big shootout too in the coming episodes. I owe you guys that big, huge mega shootout, because I've got a whole new run-up since the last time I did one of those. I've got a whole new lineup of headphones. The only thing that I have here that wasn't in the last one, losing my voice. Stand by. There's only 2 headphones left from that initial shootout, and that's the Susvara and the Utopia. Every other headphone that I did in that first mega shootout has been replaced, upgraded. I went from the 1266 in the original to the 1266 TC. The Meze Empyrean was in the first one. That came in think last place in the shootout, and I now have the Elite, and the Elite is gonna contend for the best overall headphone. I can tell you that right now. And the reason I say that is because I use the Elite, the Meze Elite I use more than any other headphone in the house. It's easy to drive, they feel comfortable, they have outstanding outstanding tuning, take two, outstanding tuning, and you know, again, most comfortable headphone. Like I love wearing those, and they sound great, and I can power them with anything from this, you know, WA11 to my Cayin N8, which is for sale in the director's garage down below, the 8000, the SP 8000 or SP 1000. Getting my numbers all confused. It's getting late. Been on the air a little too long. Nephilim 81, speaking of wood, just Audeze LCD XC Bubinga wood cups are no slouch in the looks department. I haven't seen them. I haven't held them in my hands. I have, you know, the only XC I have is the carbon fibers. So, and they look good. They're a nice headphone. I wish they just weren't quite so bright. I'm still struggling with the brightness on that headphone. I haven't figured it out. Adam Cardos, also different wood hardness on the Verity close. Wait, I gotta read this. This blew my mind. Also, the different wood hardness on the Verite closed make not insignificant differences in sound. So you're contending, Adam, that the construction, the material of the cup changes the sound. I guess there's a case to be made for that. There certainly was with the THX00 line. You could get the mahogany, the purple heart, or the ebony. The ebony was the one that cost the most, and it was the one that people say sounded like the most reference, or the most, not reference, the one that had the most appeal. And then the certainly the purple heart is the one that had all the bass, which is why I love it so much. And Sean Mills doubles that down with the TH900. Yeah, the Fostex headphones are phenomenal, and that's a headphone that I would love to get in here someday. I would like to get that in. The 909, the 900, probably the 900 for me. I want a good close back, and yeah. I mean, I think anybody who knows anything about bass, you know, the 900 is should be on everybody's short list if bass is what you're after, you know. Very, very good headphone, very beautiful. Boy, Fostex knows how to make a cup, that's for sure. The yokes are not as sturdy. Okay. Creaky yokes and cables disturb him radically, says Daniel Foster. Yeah, well, you know, and that's when I'll pull out a little olive oil, or I'll pull out some 3-in-1 and a toothpick and just kind of, you know, solve that problem. Zare Jarol, hey, it's been a while. He saw my video on the ZMFs and he laughed because he literally just got the LCD4Z for cheap last week. He's loving the hell out of them. Now his plan on getting a Susvara is dead. The Susvara, dead. The LCD4, dead. It's the 4Z, man. I love that rant. That rant just kicked, that I did in that episode just killed me. I was having a blast. I hope you guys had a good time with it. Because everybody thinks that way. Everybody thinks like, oh yeah, that's the, wait, what's that? You know? It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Yeah, so, you know, I hear you, and I still want the LCD4. I want to get this LCD4. Everybody tells me to get the 4, not the 4Z. I think the 4Z is a little more attractive. Is that spicy? But the 4 is supposedly, you know, the one that everybody raves about. So I may find an OG4 for sale. There's a couple on Headfire right now. I just need the money. I mean, like, geez, I spent so much money on headphones. And I need to get some of these shootouts done so I can sell some off. That's the other thing I need to do. Because once I do this, I mean, I can think of a few headphones that are going to go away after the next mega shootout. Sorry to say. I won't tell you what they are. I mean, that's going to be... We'll save that for a future. But that's a tease, my friends. A tease. JTB says EMF stabilized headphones are really nice looking. Yes, they are. The Rossum Rad Zero, pretty badass looking. Yeah, they are. I totally agree, JTB. Cheers. Cheers, brother. And thanks for the photos, man. Thanks for sharing your gear. That was really cool. Glad we could show those off. Very nice. And they do. They looked... You got the same wood that he did the Camphor Burl, which he did my Verite open backs in. But you got the closed version, which probably sound better. And then Sean Mills is back. He says he doesn't remember having a problem with the Fostex cable, but yeah, the yokes need a redesign. There are plenty of headphones like that. My R9s are currently being used at work. That's my current work headphone. I've found a use for them, and I've found a situation where the Bluetooth doesn't crap out. However, that Bluetooth module on the R9 is so huge. If I'm wearing a collared shirt, it bangs into it. It's really annoying at work, but I can always go wired. Sean Mills has a lot of yokes for us. It's a bad dad joke. Sorry, guys. Victor Ennis, he's interested in getting a tube amp, but he resides in SoCal. The last thing he needs is a room heater. Can you recommend a tube amp that doesn't get too ridiculously hot? Well, the WA6 has only got 3 tubes in it. It's not going to fry you. You'll be okay with that one. I promise. I don't think that's... Oh, I lost my place in the chat. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't think that's... Wow, I got to catch up. I'm way behind. I would say the WA6. That's something. Or get one of the smaller ones. You know, this little... This doesn't have a DAC in it, but... I got to take some stuff down to pull it down. This guy back here, little something like the Cavalli tube hybrid. It's $100 and some. It's a little way to get into tubes. You don't need the most expensive gear, guys. You know, find something that's $100 or $200 and go to town. Have some fun with it. Then if you have some extra money later on, you can always upgrade. So always do that. Mrs. Director coming in. Oh, she's incoming. Mrs. Director incoming. Oh, yeah, we're giving a dog to my in-laws today. That's a really cool thing that's happening this afternoon. I mean, I'll share with you that because it's something that's going on in my life right now, and it's kind of important. So, we have my in-laws are in their 80s, and they're not one to really like the type of life alert kind of thing. So, and they've had a dog all their lives, and they lost their last dog a few years ago, and it's really something they've always had. As long as I've known them, they've had dogs, and so we went and visited them for Mother's Day, and they were really upset about not having a dog, but they don't want to get a dog because they're in their later years and they're afraid of what happens if they die or if they don't want to say goodbye to another dog. So we found this agency that is training a dog for them, and they're going to put the dog through it's like a service dog, like a service animal, so it can call 911 if one of them goes down and can't get up or something like that, and it also is trained if somebody falls to come up to them and be a brace dog so that they can brace themselves on the dog while they try to get back on their feet, and the dog has, you know, it can help them out in those ways. So they don't know it's coming, so there's a big surprise headed to their doorstep today, and it's and the puppy is en route. And this is a rescue dog that was retrained. It was a service dog in the past. It's looking for a purpose, and so we found a new home. And the in-laws are going to get a surprise today. They're either going to be really angry. They're probably going to be really angry at first, and then they're going to be appreciative. But we've had this dog. We had the dog spayed. We had the dog retrained, and now it's going to the in-laws. So that's kind of happening today as this show is going on. How big was your... Okay, so let's get back to the chat, because I really got to start bearing down on this, or I'm not going to get through it. And I want to address all these things because you guys stopped by today, and it's like it's the least I can do is pay attention to you guys. So Victor, I would say the WA6, go for that, or one of these other smaller amps. Check out the Shit. Shit has some great small tube amps too. Daniel Foster, his new Sundara cables arrived, and they are a few feet shorter than he is. It's a few feet short. Yeah, short cables aren't going to work. Heal those Pokemon says, how big was your channel when you partnered with Audio 46? They were my second to step up. Linsol was the first, and Linsol came like almost right away. Lillian caught one of my shows and thought I was hysterical and crazy, and she's like, I want in. We'll just send you stuff and mention our show. Mention our, for a mention, we'll send you the headphones. Audio 46 came in at about 8 months in. It was right around the time I got to 1,000 subscribers. They came in at about that moment. And they came in a huge way. I mean, no sooner do I unbox something, they've got another thing in the mail. And it's been good for them too. I mean, this has been a good partnership for them as much as it has been for me. But I appreciate those guys, and they're just great. So that's been something that's just worked out for everybody. And I still shop with them. That's the funny thing. It's like, as much as they send me guys, I'm not kidding. Like, when I go to buy the WA11, you think this thing isn't... I'm not buying this off of I buy this from Audio 46. I just call them up and go, I got a problem. I got this situation at work, and I think I need one of these things. It's like, boom, it's in the mail. Like, they're just so good. They respond. They ship so fast. It's unbelievable. But I shop there all the time. I'm like, I wonder if I'm one of their biggest customers too. I don't know. Really great. Sean Mill says he got a 4Z last week himself. A great headphone. What is he driving it with? I want to know. I'm a popcorn emoji. Doris is away. Rossins are very pretty. Yes, they are. Atrium flat out looks like it's been blessed by a priest. The sound is heavenly, for sure. So raise your roll. Sean Mills, he's driving it with a shit stack. Good amps. Too much power for the 4Z, but plenty for the 6 SEV2. Hi-Fi Boog. Caught you. Thanks for the little message you sent me yesterday. Appreciate that, Hi-Fi Boog. Sent me a little email saying, hey. Totally appreciate the feedback. Love that. Glad you guys are enjoying the channel. Big tent. We love having a lot of people here, and we're really doing well today. We got a bunch of extra viewers today than normal, and I appreciate that. Welcome to the show. We do this happy hour. We talk about everything on this show. I just told a dog story, and next thing you know, we're talking headphones. Ryan Dietz, thanks for the answer. No problem, buddy. Sean Mills, Bifrost 2 Lokius GSX Mini. Low gain, of course. Really great headphone. Underappreciated. I got the ZXX. I have the GSX Mark II here. It's a nice amp. The head amp stuff is amazing. They do great stuff. That's another, Burson. Those companies are top notch. They're on another plane. Ryan Dietz says his primary use would be the HD 800S and the HD 580. I'm in the middle of a conversation there. I don't want to disturb you guys. Daniel Foster says he wants to have an 800S for his studio customers, not for him, but fine for audiovisual. Yeah, I haven't had the 800S. I have the 820s, which nobody likes except me, apparently. I think there's one other viewer who chimed in and said, man, I really like those 820Ss, and I'm like, you and me are alone, buddy. The 820 is the closed back Sennheiser, and it's like everybody hates it except me, and I don't care. I like it. Sean Mills says that's a really good chain. Or JTB says Sean Mills, that's a really good chain. He's got the Burson flagship conductor 3TGX. Oh, coming tomorrow. Hey, JTB, is that the one with the new coloring where they got the red knobs, kind of like Star Warsy? Very cool. Trying to find an amp to pair with the Susvara. JTB and I are on the same quest. Yep. Why let the facts get in the way of a great story? Hey, absolutely. JTB just took it up to your car battery. Yeah, the Susvara I'm still looking for, and I still think that the now everybody's talking about what's the Lima. Oh, $30,000 of pain of headphone driving, but everybody says that that's with the Susvara might be the new champ, but I still want to get the Bakun 13R. I'm still on the lookout for that someday. It's just, when it hits the market, it's always like $5,000, and I'm like, if I've got $5,000, don't I really want to get like the SRX 9000? Whatever. Hi-Fi Boog says his Modi is finally shipped from shit, and it's going to be fully balanced. Very cool. I have not dove into any of the shit products. I just respect them because I think they do good gear. The Bursons output a shit ton. Yes, they do. I think that and the Ferrum they're kind of neck and neck as far as output. Should be enough to get the Susvara as far as running. The Ferrum does a good job with it. I just don't know that I'm on the bleeding edge of what the Susvaras have to offer. I have a sense that they're holding back, that there's something more there. Whereas I think for the 1266 TC, I think I've found that edge of performance. I don't think I can make those any better. And they just are singing right now. And I know I'm doing well because a friend of mine came over on Memorial Day, and I pulled out the Susvara and I pulled out the 1266. And after listening to the rig setup and my tweaked Susvara settings with the Ferrum stack, with the Hypsos, and then he listened to the Susvara in the best way I can set that up, he said, why would you even bother with the Susvara? So, and like when somebody says that, and he's got a good ear, he's no slouch in the sound department. So, he's, I know I've got those Susvaras that, about as good as they're going to get. So I'm not messing with them. And they sound great. Audeze put out ribbon headphones too on a limited basis. The Headphone is likely the best in such realm. Don't know yet. I do like ribbon clarity and punch. I have not heard the Headphone. I see that it's going on sale, so I assume that there's probably a Headphone 2 coming out soon. That's usually what that means. But I've noticed they've been discounted everywhere. JTB, his shit layer with his Lokius boost does a decent job, but he knows there's more to be had with a better amp. JTB, you are on the exact same page as me. We're looking for an amp that can bring the most out of this Susvara. We have this very expensive headphone. We know it's very capable. I just don't know that I've heard the best out of it yet. And I'm like, and I've put some serious amps to that. You guys know if you followed the show, I've tried some serious amps with it, and I still don't think it's there. I think there's more there. There's more on the table, as they say. Sean Mills, not gonna lie, shit's lower gear falls apart with higher end cans. Yeah, so you get what you pay for. Gen 1 year back, it was a shit box, but recently got some of their new stuff. They've come a long way in terms of build and sound quality. I believe that, and I think I don't think any company wants to sit mired in where they're at, and always reaching for the next level. Hi-Fi Boog says he needs new pads for his LCD2. The whole sticky pads on Audeze has thrown him off. Is that like you've had some deterioration and they've gotten kind of sticky? That's kind of nasty. I hate when that happens on any plasticky thing. Sean Mills, yes, the Burson is really power sufficient. I agree. Burson makes good stuff. I had a Burson back in the day. That was my first solid state amp, was a Burson. I had the conductor, and I paired it with a Wired for Sound DAC 2, an amp a company you don't hear much from anymore. Wired for Sound. Hi-Fi Boog got his first set of Porto Pros. You're the second person to mention Porto Pros today, by the way. He leaves them in his work backpack with his Ear Studio 2. And he loves them. Now, that's great. I haven't heard the Porta Pros yet, but based on what you guys are saying, that seems like a headphone maybe in the future. Might be worth checking out. Daniel Foster, I'm really behind, owns a fantastic violin and a mandolin too. Looking for a stage monitor headphone with explicit detail, neutral, and the best dynamics. I would say check out 64Audio. I don't have a model number for you, but you might find one in their line that fits what you need. They do good stage stuff. Last Rhino, it is aged coppers. EMF has a video on it and how long it took to age the copper. What he means to say that is the stock Atrium does not look like that. Yes, that is true. Pull out the damn tubes. All right, I'm going to get to the bottom of this run, and then I'll pull out some tubes. We'll take a look at some tubes. Hi-Fi Boog, can't wait for November. He's definitely getting ZMFs. That's the new closed version of the Atrium. Is that true? Is that what I read? I'm a little behind, folks. I doing a lot of work this week. And trying to get the episode out. That episode was 25 minutes, and doing 25 minutes of anything is not easy. Not when I'm mired to my own production sensibilities. Okay, moored to my own sensibilities. JTB says he tried the Jot 2. I'm going to let you handle that because I need to get down this train. Been making train expansion money this year, so he might be able to get them. Chris, New York City. Welcome, Chris. Cheers to you, brother. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We're getting the 90-minute fall off with our viewers. People starting to get tired of me. Can't blame them. Nephilim. Oh, man. You know, don't be an enabler, Nephilim. Get him, get him. You know you gotta get him. That's the one you gotta have, man. JTB hasn't tried a Sean Mills hasn't tried a shit amp in 10 years, probably. Yeah, it's been a while for me, too. I think it's probably one of the older Head-Fi shows, like maybe 5 years ago. Last time I heard a shit amp in person. Hi-Fi Boog was going to go VC. That was before they sprung the Atrium on us. Yeah, they kind of did, didn't they? JTB likes the Shitliar 3. That's kind of... You guys are going to let you guys have that little conversation because I need to get down this list. I feel bad that I'm not getting through it. Okay. Daniel Foster... This is sidetracking, so ignore, because it's not all audio related. 2 weeks back, a man in a truck pointed a finger at him during traffic attempts in Palmdale. During traffic attempts twice, Palmdale Boulevard and 3rd Avenue tried to run him over. Well, Daniel, that's rude. That dude's rude. Stay away from him. You don't even want to get even with a guy like that. Just walk the other way. Hey, cheers. Who gave me the $20 tip? That was really sweet. Jordan James. Cheers, brother. Finally caught a live stream. He wanted to say thanks for all the awesome content. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for the 20, brother. Loving the review style. Just picked up the LCD 5. Enjoying it so far. And the review gave you a heads up to what to expect. Yeah, it's like the best reference headphone I know. Everybody raise your glass to Jordan James. Appreciate you. That's really cool, man. Really cool. Thank you so much. Back up the chat page. Okay, Sari's obsessed with tubes and the whole subculture attached with them. Michael, you're going to have to pull out the tubes. Second call for tubes. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to pull out some tubes, and then we'll probably start wrapping the show up. Hang on, guys. The problem with the tube drawer y'all wonder what I got. And when I say I have a bin of tubes, what I mean to say is, folks, I have a bin of tubes. This is tube obsession right here. It's really a curse once you start doing it. And I've got all kinds of stuff. And a lot of, I mean, I just don't tube roll that much because I'm so happy with what I have. But like, this is the original tube that came, the PS Vanes 300B that came with the WA5LE version 2. And then I'm pretty sure my Western Electric beautiful wood case is loaded with the Takatsukis, because that's how that went. Yeah. This is the Takatsuki. I should probably do this on the deck here. But I've got a lot of stuff. Hang on, folks. We're going to reconfigure. So I can actually do some top-downage. Because I got the camera out today, so why not use it, right? Reconfiguring. We'll put this to the side. Don't get it wet. All right. So we'll run through some tubes to end the show today. This is the 300B from Takatsuki. Look at this bad boy. It's about $2,000 worth of tubes right there. This is the packaging that comes with the Western Electric. I mean, and you can see this, by the way, if you go to that video. It's like episode 23 or something, with the chart and all the voltages and shit. Very cool. And the reason that they're in here is because I was swapping them out. So they wind up, you know, they wind up in the wrong case. They all wind up in the wrong cases. So that's the Western Electric. Here's the 274. So this is going to have, I think it's the GZ. These are the rectifiers that are, the ones that are in this case are actually in the amp right now. So I think what's in here is what I replaced them with. And that should be, yeah, look at this. This is a 1957 GZ34. One of the best rectifier tubes. If you ever find a pair of these, buy them. And this pair is, the date code is 1957. This was made in March of 1957. I bought them as new old stock, and they might have a couple hundred hours on them, but they're just in pristine, gorgeous condition. They don't look impressive because they're kind of small. But the sound on these, oh, they're special, and I got a match pair of those. And this is all the packaging that you get with the Takatsuki 274B. Yeah, GZ34. That's what I was trying to remember. Couldn't remember the model number. Got a pair of those. I got these VT99s. This is one that requires a special, because it's got an electrode at the top. These are National Unions, and these will go in the driver position in the amp, in the Woo amp. This is a driver, but you have to have a special socket with a lead going up to the top. And I believe I have one of those. I'm sure that's in here. I mean, what's a tube box without... Oh, this is a good one. I got to show this one off. That's coming next. Here, this guy. So you got to have, you put this in here like this, and then the little cappy cap goes up top, and you get yourself, you know, that sounds good. That sounds sweet. Yeah, like that. So That's that package. And that's the National Union VT99 tube. I want to try that one out. Here comes a classic. This is the US AF 596. And if you thought that the Abyss 1266 was Frankenstein, this is a Frankenstein tube, my friend. Check out that. That's a rectifier. And they sound really good. They're not as clean as... They're a little dirty. And they sound really good with anything that's like guitar, like electric guitars and stuff. I really like this for rock. But, you know, I'm not going to pull a whole tube out to go listen to you know, some Stones or some, you know, Who or whatever, or, you know, Zeppelin. But this is, you know, and they look really cool when they're in the amp side by side with their electrodes sticking out. Here's the, oh, it's always made me nervous. But here's the electrode. That's what the electrode looks like, and then you put the little cap on it to make the contact, and you've got yourself a wired up 596. So fun. I think those are the majority of it, and I'll just go through. This is the Boxo tubes. What fell? Nothing. So lots of stuff in here. I think those are the main ones, because I got rid of I sold off a bunch of tubes. Because you get to a point where you just don't, you know, like, what do I need this for? Another PS Vane, 300B. Doom. And then a lot of I tried a lot of drivers on this. On my amps. Here's another one. This is a driver. It's top down. Tongue Soul. It's not a round plate. It's an old GT 6SN7. Sound good. Sound good. Not as good as the round plates, but they sound really good. I probably dropped some money on it. Hello. Pardon? I was gone by 6:30 in the morning. I'm on the air. Say hello to the world.
Hello, world! I'm delivering Amazon packages to my beloved director husband.
Yes. Here's another VT99 tube. RCA. Very cool. Electrode. Whole thing. Fun. You know, it's just different things you try. I mean, you know, and you settle on what works for you. Ooh, here's an Amperex. What's Amperex? How did I buy an Amperex? This looks like another driver. Yeah. Oh, this one I needed. This was actually, I think, for the WA6. This is back from my WA6 days. Because you can't fit that in the... It's a GLC, yeah, to DE7, 6DE7 tube. That's what that pin arrangement is. So, I don't even own an amp for this one, and I still have it. Go figure. Fun stuff. So there's my tubes. I'm going to let that... Let's close the tube box up for the day. Holly just woke up.
Because I came home.
Holly and Mrs. Director have a love-hate thing going on. Daniel Foster says, anti-gravity is easy and never holds parts and requirements of a traditional car. Audio and anti-gravity mutually coherent. I don't know what that's referring to. Foster. $1,500 according to rumors. That's for the new, I'm guessing that's the new ZMF. So those are my tubes. Let's see. Give your amp a workout, Michael. 200 ohm masterpieces. The LCD4. Yeah. I want the LCD4. I want to get a pair of those. Hi-Fi Boog, the Lux GP20. I'm guessing that's an amp. What are we laughing at over there? Did you get the pink thing? Sounds like Director has a job tonight. Mr. Director has a job for tonight. Alan.
Top of the cat pole.
Oh, that's tragic. No, it's, yep. We have a new cat pole for Howley to try and get him to stop scratching Mrs. Director's new pink couch. It's a zoo here, folks. So Alan says, and welcome, Alan. Do we still like the Ferrum or Hypso stack? Yes, very much so. I think it's the best amp I own. I think, by far. Tony from Audio 646 is the man. Rodrigo Frides, yes. Some people love dogs. Really, his dogs love us. Oh, friend in need is a friend indeed. It's going to my dog. I told the dog story. They're up on the dog story. Personal question, do you regret not having children? No, I don't. Not for a second. Who will get you a dog to help you when you are in your 80s? You see what I mean? There are too many of us. Are many of us too selfish not having children? No. I think we're doing the world a service by not adding more people to it, because there are too many people. We're running out of room. That's world government protocol. Oh boy, we're getting into politics. Warning alert. I don't want to get into politics. JTB, it's a crazy world to bring children into these days. Very expensive. Many factors to be considered. Yeah, it was a personal decision. We were older, and I'm like, I don't want to be. Mrs. Director and I got married. I was 39 years old, and I'm like, I don't want to be 60 years old and having a kid graduate and going into college. It's like, it's just too much. I don't care. That's fine. Cheers. Sorry, all just flew in. Meanwhile, JTB, where are we at? Nah. JTB, the Bursting Conductor 3X GT and Soloist do have the red knobs and accents, and a cool red stand if you want. Wow, that's cool. That's awesome. I saw those. I really thought they were great. Have to buy some. Nephilim wants to buy some tubes. That's a great thing. Hey, Nephilim. Last few minutes here, we're just going to wind this down. Daniel Foster, he likes the Burson House sound. Almost has a bit of a hybrid amp flavor, but still has great detail and some impact to it. I like Burson and shit gear for rock genres. Yeah, I like Burson gear for all genres. I think I would not limit it to just that. I put that on classical. It's going to do me just fine. I think Burson makes fantastic products. How can you tell when a tube needs a replacement? It blows. I don't mean that in a... It literally, it'll pop. When it pops, it's done. The man who... Oh, Daniel Foster, an update. The man who attempted to run him over twice was parked on the other side across the street. So you chased him away using his phone as a defense mechanism. Yeah, nobody likes to have video of them behaving badly. That's a smart move. JTB, swapping tubes is one rabbit hole he refuses to go down. Save yourself the money. There's a qualitative aspect between tubes and transistors. The Burson sound holds dear. Yeah, it's... the other thing is with Burson is they're so good about their power supply. The thing that separates, I think, the men from the boys in the amp world is how they handle their power supply. And you see the way Wu does it, and you see, discreet. You see the way Ferrum does it. You see how the inside of these head amp products are, they keep that power supply away from the sound chain, and that makes a huge difference. They keep the crosstalk out of the equation. Nephilim, thank you, Michael. Look at those glorious tubes. Yes. JTB, a baseball bat. Just don't get the baseball bat near the tubes. Does Takatsuki make an AE88 6922? I don't believe they do. I don't think I've seen one. Daniel Foster says he walks with a golf club because he was fatally injured during that Sawtooth Mountain range preference kill. I don't know what that is. Oh, man. Oh, that's wifey says hello. Yes. Walking with his golf club. Victor Ennis, couple last things. May you ask, what do DAC or preamp do you use to stream to your tube amps? Well, that's usually using the cord. I use the cord stack, Victor. I have the Hugo TT2 and the the very expensive other unit that I'm drawing a blank on right now. It's the I'll never forget it. It's that if only there was a device that could tell me what the heck I bought.
He already loves his phone.
Cord. It's the thing that jumps up the resolution. I'm drawing a blank. Help me out, guys. Help me out. We got to wrap this up because my brain is losing it. Yes, it's a cord stack. It's the cord thingy with the TT2. That's what I have. And that's what's feeding. But I also, a lot of times with the tube stuff is I'll do the whole analog rig, and that would be like the tape, the RS1500 reel-to-reel, and I'll run that into the preamp at the Macintosh and then into the tube. And that's a great path because you've got a full analog path at that point. It's really amazing. It's really amazing. Michael, if you bought the WA22, would you get it in black or silver? M-Scaler, thank you for telling me what I own. It's the Cord M-Scaler with the Cord TT2. I spent so much money on it, I forgot what it was. Yeah, I've been using that for a long time. I still have the issue with the M-Scaler, though, in high mode. It's doing bad things. Not bad, it's just like it puts a little click in every so often. So, JTB, last thing I'm going to say, I will give you an update on the Conductor 3X GT with the Susvara next week. Hopefully it will be good news. Dude, let me know, because I am interested. We're brothers from another mother. We're in search of the exact same quest, which is what's the ultimate way to drive the Susvara. We both spent obscene amounts of money on a headphone that is supposed to be the best in the world, and we don't hear the best in the world out of it yet. And I think that there is the best in the world to come, but you got to find the right components and the right chain. And if I can find the Bakun and I have the money, which I don't right now because I just spent a lot of money on stuff this week or in the last month, that would be the way to go. But definitely, we're both in search for of the ultimate driving machine for the Hifiman Susvara. All right, guys, we had a very successful stream today with tons of viewers flooding the channel. Really cool. 82 people at one point. That's really awesome. And thank you again for the tip. And forgive me, Jordan James. Thank you very much for the tip today. I appreciate that. And I'll be back next week for sure. Get the outro music going. Yes. This looks like it is. We'll be back next week, same time, same bat channel, provided my work schedule doesn't pull me away for something. And of course, we have the next episode. We're going to do that shootout. I probably won't get as many viewers because it is a low-priced IEM, but I think this is fascinating. And anybody who thinks that this headphone is not worthy at $200 hasn't heard them, or at least hasn't heard them driven properly. So the 7 Hertz Timeless is definitely, and the Muse Hi-Fi are both exceptional IEMs at just $200. Like you listen to them and you go, oh, that's got to be like $1,000, and it's like, no. So really good shootout coming up. I'm super excited about that. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I hope the rest of your week is as pleasant as the first half, or if it was a lousy first half, I hope it gets much better. You know. But I'm glad you guys stopped by today, because it's always great to hang out with friends, and you guys are all my friends, and I totally appreciate you guys. And yeah, take care of yourself, and we'll see you before you know it. What do you say? How can I get off? Because I have messed up my switcher 8 ways to Sunday. There we go. Got a slate. Give you some music.